One final match to close out Showdown Sunday here live on the MLE Network, presented by APM Music, and Adam J and McGrant CFO still in the booth to close things out with a battle at the top of the Champion League leaderboard. It's the Tyrants and the Demolition. Both of these teams still in the hunt for division wins on either side.
Yeah, both of these teams coming in at the top. It's going to be a clash of titans, and I love seeing these kinds of matches. I got to see two of them back-to-back in Premier League the other week, and my goodness, that was crazy. And I've seen what the Demolition are capable of. Specifically, one of the players playing tonight is Climax. Oh my goodness. What a mechanical player. I've loved to play with them in every game that I have so far in the past, and I can't wait to see what they are able to do with the combination of Shay. Both teams playing their highest salaries tonight, and it's going to be good.
With the Tyrants, I think the interesting thing is going to be the fact that they've had to bring in a reserve for this one, as Britzu will take the field. A late pickup from the reserve, from the Foxes actually in CL, to play alongside True Soldier, one of the mainstays in the community for a long time now. Never really got out of Champ League though, and it'll be interesting to see if this season might be the season where there's a little more success for him as we get forward later into this ranked season.
Yeah, but I just can't wait. This is going to be such an exciting game. I just want to get right into it. I want to put our players on the field and just go at it, because I'm over here shaking. I'm just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Demolition and the Tyrants going at it. I'm going to predict Demolition on this one. I've seen the way they've played. I haven't got the chance to see Tyrants, but what are your thoughts on this, Jay?
I think that with a reserve coming in for the Tyrants, there's a lot of pressure on them to perform here. The Demolition, again, we know pretty much what we're going to see. We're going to be expecting a lot of good play out of them here. And for the Tyrants, can this team gel quickly? A reserve coming in. Speaking of gelling quickly, though, Britt off the kickoff, not quite able to get enough power on the initial shot.
Well, it's Britzu and True Soldier trying to make something of this Demolition defense, but True Soldier coming in clutch off that one. Shay playing it away to the corner. True Soldier takes it back up the side wall. We've got plenty of boost to work with on the way down here. It's a 50 with Climax to keep it in the midfield, but Britzu comes out strong. Good mechanics all around from both of these teams. It's what you expect to see. It's an unfortunate miss from Climax, but they've been bailed out by an unfortunate high shot off the backboard. Shay looks to rebound their own shot here. It's blocked again by True Soldier.
True Soldier really needed to score that one for the Tyrants. It was an uncharacteristic kind of sequence of play from the demo there. They didn't have the best control of that clear coming out. With the net at their mercy, True Soldier not able to score on that. Might be one that the Tyrants might miss down the line here, as does another shot here, Britzu, into the waiting arms of Climax on the goal line.
Oh, Britzu sent another one into the corner. Climax playing it back out for Shay, but Shay's been bumped smartly by True Soldier. Britzu waits out for the 50 with Climax. Instead, they just take it up in the air. They've got 100 boost, and it's a waste a little bit, and just unfortunately gives up a pass to True Soldier, faking him out. I guess lack of communication will cost them there, but it's not going to be anything too dangerous as they still remain scoreless, both of these teams. But Britzu looking to change that immediately. The flick over Climax, and it's a goal. Tyrants on the board first.
Great play by Britzu on this. Just waits in net, knows that there really isn't a lot of danger from Shay on the play. There's no power on that ball to get out center. Just picks it up, gets control of it, forces Climax into the retreat on the shadow defense. Can't do enough with it, and the Tyrants will take the first goal in game one.
And they will do so happily. True Soldier getting another powerful 50 off the kickoff. Climax takes it up from the wall. They're going to give up possession, though, to True Soldier, who's also had a bit of an awkward touch. They hunt for the demo on Shay. They don't find it. Britzu waits back, gets a pass again by Shay. And one of the differences you'll see if you were here for the last match, Master League, it's so much more, quick and then slow down once you get on your opponent's half. But here in Champ League, at least with these teams, it doesn't look to be so much of that control of pace. And luckily, Tyrants have been able to capitalize on that fact and take a lead early.
The real difference between Champ League players and Master League players just tends to be the fact that there's a little bit less control of the ball. But the thing that bails that play out, speaking of bailing out, Climax, great shot to the back post. And this really comes down to the fact that the Tyrants on this initial play, they don't control their clear. They dump it into space. They let the Demolition bring it back around and pick that up at midfield. And that's what you're going to see a lot of. We saw it a lot in the Master League game that the Puffins early in that series were able to take advantage of. The difference, you won't see the teams take advantage of that as often. They just don't quite recognize where they're at in the play early enough to take advantage of those misplays.
Yeah, and you got to think about placing the ball into some empty space rather than putting it into occupied space by the opponent. But Shay, they're going to take advantage here. It's a block from Britsu. Climax can't get to it quick enough. It's 50'd up high by True Soldier, and Shay will have to regroup on the other side of the field and try to send one in. They've got no boost to work with. True Soldier plays it back up for Britsu's, carrying it from their own corner. Pass out. They were looking for a connection, and that's smart. We don't want to see too many solo plays. However, it may have been a bit of a better option if you even could have done anything with that ball. We talked a lot about the difficulties with going for a solo play when your teammate is not well prepared for it, because you take yourself out of the play and then your teammate is like, oh, well, what do I do now? And right there, Demo opened things up for Demolition, and they might be looking to score. No, they don't.
The Tyrants, I actually think that Britsu was correct in trying to go for the solo play. They already had one defender beat. They had one more defender trying to shadow. Force that defender to make a decision by flicking the ball a little more effectively. And if the clear happens, True Soldier should be set up because they were coming up with the play as well to try and take that second phase of play and get a shot on goal. Didn't work out though because the Tyrants just didn't quite get that fast-moving ball under control early enough.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to discredit the solo play effort because it was indeed the right decision, but just thinking about it though, is True Soldier plays one over, looking for the connection with Britsu. Not gonna find it. Climax has played it away, but they're gonna have to defend a shot here. And Shay instead bails out Climax, now taking it from their left wall. Britsu will 50 it with him, trying to power through the defense. It's another solid stop from Shay. Climax has got the ball to work with, but Britsu may have the boost advantage here, and it's going to work to their favor. They've got a solo play coming out here. Instead, Shay leaps over the top of him, is able to clear it away. 40 seconds now to go. Still a tie game.
It was a good challenge by Shay on that initial play by Britsu. You can see this tendency, Brit really wanting to get that ball under control, force the defenders into making a decision. True Soldier on that last one, though, got beat by the 50 and forced to retreat on that. And that's the danger. If you get too close to a player that is going to make that solo play for your team, you need to just give yourself enough space to react to every outcome as Climax puts that one off the post. Shay with the initial touch, down to the final 10 seconds in game one.
Well, Shay puts it up high. They want to not go to overtime because it's a dangerous and nerve-wracking place to be, but the clock will expire. Ball hits the floor, and unfortunately, Demolition, they're going to have to deal with an overtime in game number one. True Soldier sends this one over to Climax, who will take it out slow. No, they play it out fast, which may have been a bit questionable. They don't play it into empty space or take it for their own here. Instead, they just give it right to the Tyrants team, and Shay playing this one away, trying to make up for the mistake made by Climax, but they can only do so much. Climax makes up for their own, and Britsu has a bit of an awkward clear on their own half, but it's met by Demolition. They've got some good rotation going for them, and they maintain the offense.
I like this play here by the Tyrants. They were under a couple of shots here from the Demo, but they let the Demo kind of get close to try and make something happen. They had full boost tanks. They had full control of that ball. They get the Demo to come in, make that challenge happen, and then get the breakout on that one. Perfectly done on their end. There was no real danger for them. Kept their heads. They didn't need to rush it, lose control of the ball, and they got a good clear because of it.
Well, True Soldier gets a good clear, but Shay is going to meet it halfway. Britsu leaps over the top. One of the Demolition attackers. True Soldier plays it back up for themselves. It could go over Climax here, but they've deflected it away to the post, but not for long. It's almost a double commit from the Demolition. But Climax, they've got some time to work with this ball. Double commit from the Tyrants, however. Shay tries to get the pass out. Climax not ready for it. Instead, they've got a dribble waiting down low. They almost got it over, but they lost a bit of control. And mechanics and consistency come into play here, but Climax will find an opening in the net and secure game one.
You talk about mechanics and consistency, that's what lets the Tyrants down here. Britsu beat on the initial challenge, forcing True Soldier into the corner to make the clear. The touch isn't good enough. It falls right down to the waiting Demolition players. They'll convert that one for the OT winner, and the Demo take game one. not a lot to choose from, really, Grant, between these teams. The Tyrants had more of the shots in this one, 9-7. All but one of the Tyrants shots actually saved by the Demo. I was thinking about this going into overtime. There wasn't really a lot of scoring chances, I would say, in terms of clear-cut ones for either team. It really was kind of that 1-1 game where it was going to be one mistake that set the tone to separate these teams.
And it looked a little uncertain there from the Demolition, you know, going into an overtime. I called it out. I was like, hey, they probably don't want to take it here, but they were able to calm their nerves down. And it was what we talked about a lot in Master League, the last series we just watched. It's maturity. It all comes down to that. How can you keep your head in the game as you play throughout it? And that comes off of really two things, both receiving feedback from your teammates, allowing them to help you, and then also, you know, being able to trade that back and forth between each other, not let yourself get too down. But Demolition, they hold it well in the mind, and now it's up to the Tyrants to keep their mental desk space clear as they head into this next one off a close loss.
It was a close loss, and it really just came down to one mechanical error. And I feel like if the Tyrants can dial that in just a little bit, get the touches when they're needed, there's going to be a lot more success here, because the Demolition had the openings defensively. They got in tough spots a couple of times where both Climax and Shay were forced into shadow defense against the dribbling prowess of Britzu. And I think if the Tyrants can convert that into more offensive chances that really put the Demo under pressure, they might be able to get away with a bigger lead.
Oh yeah, and ones is such a huge thing in twos. It sounds a little bit contradictory to say out loud, but True Soldier's got some control on the ball downfield. True Soldier looks to get the Doomsday dish. That's an angle. They take it nice and slow from the top and place it in well.
Had all the time in the world to get that. I think Britzu actually got the bump on Shay to open up the space. I thought I saw Shay coming back, had a good line to just take that away from the backboard, but something opened up the space that I didn't quite catch on the replay. If it was the bump by Britzu, 300 IQ. It was absolutely needed.
Yeah, everything just moving so quick, and the Tyrants, they put themselves on the board first, and that was crucial in a lot of the games we saw in the last series to get on first, maintain your momentum. But True Soldier has got to defend the shot coming in from Shay. Luckily, they do lose possession. They trust Britzu along the way to get the clear out of there. So great nerves from the Tyrants. It looks like they are being a little more mature than at least I was expecting to. And that's exactly what you want to see if you're looking to take this game.
One worrying thing I just saw, it won't matter though. Britzu picks up a loose touch from the Demo. Going back to it though, we saw the Tyrants in transition before this play happened. They went upfield really early, and then neither player challenged the ball. Britzu bailed on it to grab boost, shadowed back, had to spend a lot of that boost to get up off the backboard for the clear. True Soldier also went up for that tracking back to try and take it away off the backboard. If the Demo had been able to capitalize on that, we're talking about a completely different game at this point.
Yeah, well, luckily they were able to keep their minds clear. Like we were talking about before the game started, they didn't let it affect them. They recovered well, and it led to Shay just dropping a pass right on down to them. And it was a mistake that was capitalized upon a lot and led to a good portion of the goals in the Master League series. And here's another one, poor pass from the Tyrants. This time it's Demolition capitalizing.
It's actually Climax doing all the work here. Great flick to beat the first challenge, and then another great recovery to flick that one over top of True Soldier. The solo effort breaks down two defenders, and Shay follows it up effectively to get the goal.
Well, as the meta and at least the pro scene looks to, I guess, shift, you know, we talk about building these teams of mechanical players, and it's why I enjoy playing so much with Climax, because we both have that same mentality to, you know, be mechanical, have fun with the game, but also have so much control on the ball, and it leads to such a heavy advantage on your teammates in Climax that we saw doing all the work, the control with the dribble into that solid flick over the defender's head, just controlling the power you have on the ball, and overall control leads to a solid goal and certain momentum boosters. Climax sends another one, but it's a strong pinch clear off the crossbar from Britzu as they send it downfield for the Tyrants.
The one danger about being a mechanical player sometimes, though, is mechanics will often hide holes in your game sense and understanding of what's happening around you. I've seen players with great mechanical prowess have no true understanding of the game around them, and they lose themselves in the game simply because they have the ability to hit and control the ball in ways that they shouldn't actually be because they can do it, there's no real negative reinforcement on the fact that they're not supposed to be doing that. And it makes it really difficult for them to understand what goes wrong, as Shay will pick up a couple of touches here and tie the game at 2.
Well, I was gonna say it's 3s, and I guess I'm still champ 3, but it doesn't matter to the Demolition. Shay pass to themselves sets them up nicely for an equalizer as we roll down to halftime, and an extra penny on the clock for you. But man, what a way to tie the game. True Soldier and Shay will meet each other in the kickoff. It's over to Climax again. You gotta watch out for this player. Ball rolling dangerously up high. Demolition playing a little more passively, but Climax has got another shot. Shay puts it over to the left side, and that's not empty space, and it's certainly not on net. It allows True Soldier to make an attempt to take it out, and this time Britsu will take it out.
A little bit of lack of communication on the Tyrants on that play. True Soldier committing through that one. We're seeing a worrying trend out of the Tyrants right now. True Soldier in a couple of spots here, just a little too eager to get into a play, and it's rendered them out of position in a lot of cases when they're not able to get the touch on the ball. If something changes in the line of play, it just doesn't work out for them. Not enough power on that shot by True Soldier. An easy save in the end for Shay.
Well, Climax takes this one downfield. It's still a tie game. Both teams kind of trading possession off and on. Shay again, the pass out to Britsu. No, it's cut off by Shay. Their own pass, and True Soldier take it down to their corner. Climax fires a shot in hard, but it's blocked again by Britsu. And Shay will try to make up for it. Instead, they look for a back pass to Climax. Instead, True Soldier will just take it on their own and take that liberty to get an unfortunate pass. But Britsu's looking to fake out. No, they'll just dribble it right past the face of Shay and put an explosive shot on net.
Watch the pickup on the boost pad by Britsu. Gets that one, just enough speed to get around that ball to the right and flick left. That one boost pad, the difference in that play, because it allows Britsu to get back on the inside of the ball to flick it away from the oncoming defender.
That's just disgusting, and great field awareness to pick up that extra boost pad. Gives you such a competitive edge. But now we turn back to action as Shay up high puts it over the top of the Tyrants defenders. Tyrants got to hold on to this lead, but they're under siege by Demolition. True Soldier laying it away to the left wall. Shay waits down low. They get it past one. Britsu doesn't make it. That's a passive mistake, but Shay couldn't capitalize effectively. Man, I can only imagine what it would have been like for Climax to be in that situation. Shay's shot this time rings the post, and they won't find a goal just yet, but they're doing everything they can. They've just got to find a more solid shooting accuracy.
It was actually a great decision, in my opinion, by Britsu to turn around and shadow that play, forcing Shay to make a decision on the flick. By challenging in, it's kind of really telegraphed at that angle. It might have been better for Shay to win that challenge than it was with the way Britsu forced it to go away and then got the line on the initial play. So great awareness here by the Tyrants in their defensive end as they weather the storm of the Demolition. Final 10 seconds, not out of the woods yet, but the rotation just in time to keep that out of danger. One last chance for the Demo. It goes wide. One bounce will keep it alive, but Shay with the miss. The Tyrants get away with it. Game 2 goes their way. It's 1-1.
So it looks like to me the playstyle that seems to be going for the Demolition is let Shay be the striker and Climax take the passes and solo plays, which I don't know how you think, Jay, but to me that just seems like my playstyle. And my playstyle doesn't typically work like that, and it just brings up so many questions for the Demolition. It's like, well, if you're only having one person attack the net, and you're only having another person just do everything themselves, is it really teamwork when the other person can't flip it the other way? But what do you think?
It really just comes down to whether or not you're making the chances count. In the case of the Demolition, they weren't. 12 shots on goal, 6 saved by Britsu, a basically standout MVP performance. Remember, Britsu coming into this series as a reserve for the Tyrants, showing up in a lot of ways on the score sheet and on the defensive end for that one. But back to your initial point, Grant, about the play style, it really just comes down to exploiting the opportunities. And this game, the Tyrants were a little bit better about not giving up those clear-cut opportunities for the Demo. I think of maybe one chance for the Demo that really should have been a goal. It was a hard shot by Shay off of a couple of the scramble chances that Climax set up, ended up going off the base of the far post, and really was the difference in this game when it ended up as 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a huge mistake that definitely would have tied the game and let the Demolition kind of recollect themselves and move towards a win, or at least overtime, hold off the Tyrants from scoring anymore. But Demolition they still look to be the better team, but hey, we gotta look at Britzu coming in as a reserve. That is absolutely clutch to pull off such a amazing performance as a reserve. You just don't expect to see that. And man, they're gonna have to defend off another one as the shot rolls in from Climax, but the recovery not there. Shay again. It's the same post. It's deja vu. Climax gets bumped out of the way, and Tyrants will let themselves roll on defense. Shay waits down low. True Soldier playing it over the top of one. Climax over to Britzu. It's up high. Will hit the corner here. Shay solid clear downfield for maybe Climax. No, they're nowhere to be found. Probably out boosting over here, but True Soldier, they get the double, throws off Climax, and they're able to move downfield, but they've got no boost to work with. Good pressure applied, but Shay will take advantage, and now Climax gets one over Britzu, but good clear to the left side.
Climax needed to do a little bit better in two spots on this last sequence of play, right at the midfield, where you saw True Soldier in a tough spot, trying to recover defensively, got the pinch off the sideboards, that was able to fool Climax, and then again, had the opportunity as Shay beat Britzu on the challenge, just didn't do enough with that ball to really convert that into an opportunity, and those are the times where you have to make something happen. We talked about the play style in between games, Grant. When Shay sets that up for Climax to try and really push the Tyrants back defensively, something has to happen, and just not enough done on those two chances.
Yeah, it even goes the other way when Climax sets up Shay. They've seemed to hit the post every single time in recent history. And obviously it's not going to lead to many goals, but that pass, this time not powerful enough for Shay. I was just talking about it. Maybe call it Caster's Curse if you want to. But man, Britzu gonna just defend this one all the way down to the other side of the field. It goes off the roof of Climax. True Soldier doesn't want to push for it, but rightfully so. Shay, great control. Blocked by True Soldier now as Climax regains possession and control in the midfield. Cut off by True Soldier. Smart decisions being made all around for the Tyrants roster. Shay plays it away. Britzu down low. Carries it over the top one. They've got an advantage here, but Shay, good cutoff, good shadowing to send that one the other way.
Not quite enough power on the shot by Britzu. Just got away on that first touch. Wasn't able to follow it up effectively after beating the first defender. Climax beating True Soldier to that ball. This is the danger for the Tyrants. True Soldier throughout the first 2.5 games of this set has been beat to a lot of these challenges that really are the ones that better players are waiting on. And I think if the Demo are going to find an opportunity, it's beating True Soldier to challenge. That one at 50 by Shay, just past Climax. Now it's dangerous for the Demo. Britzu gets the touch, and it's in bottom right, and it's a 1-0 game.
Well, all right, just as I had thoughts building up about Britzu and a bunch of question marks, they beat out Climax off of an unfortunate touch. And man, that's a way to put yourselves on the board. I don't even need to harp on Britzu right now because they've got the only goal in this game.
Exactly. The Tyrants, despite having those little wobbles defensively that the Demolition weren't able to exploit, they held themselves long enough to find the opening that the Demo were willing to give them.
Yeah, well, Demo wait back, try not to leave one of those openings for the Tyrants to capitalize on, but True Soldier has just given it to Climax. It's a solid banger off the corner of the field, but nobody able to capitalize as Tyrants. They've got pressure once again. Britzu sends it up high. Maybe looking for the double. They'll catch it on the ground. Man, they're just not going to give me a chance to harp on them because they are really showing up when it matters.
Not sure what Shay was trying to do on that play. Just had so much ground to cover. Didn't feel like it, but with the ball traveling away, the ability to get to that ball quickly with some speed, it just doesn't happen. There's a limitation to how fast you can move your car in this physics engine. And unfortunately for Shay, going out that far with no hope, really, never mind that for a second. Climax with a highlight reel off the backboard makes it 2-1.
We talk about how mechanical this player is, and they get a tight read bounce shot into the top shelf. What a way to get yourself in the game, and hopefully it becomes a momentum roller for the Demolition.
They needed that goal. They needed to at least remind the Tyrants that they're able to score goals because they haven't really found a lot through the course of this game. It's actually been a really low-scoring series overall to this point, as really it's going to come down to converting these chances. Britzu just enough. Shay's waiting. Can't make contact. The Demo needed that one, and the Tyrants get away with a really, really golden chance in front of their net.
Man, you're making me put my hands over my face in disappointment. You're so close, but man, it's just not the same team we were seeing earlier. They just can't find shots to Demolition, but Climax will certainly try to set themselves up again. Unfortunately, they give possession once again to Britsu, who's done a great job of doing that all series long, and they're going to extend the Tyrants' lead to 2 now.
Great control by Britsu, just holds it long enough, forces Shay to make the decision, and the one to challenge oftentimes against the dribbler isn't the right one. There's such a narrow window of opportunity to get your car in the right spot, and Shay has too much ground to cover to really effectively challenge that.
Well, it's Climax once again setting themselves up for a double touch. They don't find the read this time around, and instead they give possession to True Soldier to continue down the field, but Shay will wait on the back wall. That's one of those dangerous clears we talk about, those things that don't go your way and they end up being a pass to the other team. It's so dangerous. Climax doesn't find the flip or the flick this time, but Britsu couldn't capitalize as quick as they've been able to, but they don't really need to. They've got 30 seconds to hold on to this lead, but True Soldier wants to build upon it. Climax, great clear out for Britsu, but Britsu will get demoed, and Shay looking for the second one. Climax has got space to work with. It looks to be Shay trying to clear some space, but it's a floater on the Demolition net. That secures the game for Tyrants.
It was a good play by the Demo initially to try and open up space. Shay moving upfield to clear out a defender for Climax. And unfortunately, that Dominus privilege with the hitbox, just slamming it off the crossbar. I actually think there was enough space to just drive it in. The defender, I think, was bumped far enough out that it was there. And unfortunately, the 2-goal swing for the Demo puts them well behind this one. Game 3 firmly in the Tyrants' favor here.
And I believe with that, the Tyrants will move up 2-1 in the series, but True Soldier wants to get at least one more. Shay will instead kill it. Like we said, Tyrants, they walk away with this one.
It was, again, a good game by the Tyrants. They just held themselves long enough that the Demolition couldn't find a way through and found their opportunities, made them count. Whereas the Demo, when the opportunities are showing themselves to them, they just can't find that edge that they need to put themselves in front. They've been behind now in both games 2 and 3. In fact, they were down in game 1. They went behind on the initial goal, but they found a way to force overtime and get out of that one with a win. And I think it's just going to come down to when you get that chance, Grant, you have to make it count.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. That's really what's resulting in the losses from the Demolition team. They just can't make those shots happen. May it be an off day or what have you. The Demolition, they've got to turn something around quickly. I bet they've spent some time warming up at least a little bit. And if not, that could be what we're seeing. But they've got to find shot accuracy. There's not much to say. They create the opportunities for themselves. They find the mistakes of Tyrants, but they just can't turn shots into goals, and that's the basics of the game. If you can't score goals, you're not gonna win.
And I think it just comes down to, at this point, just needing to get a little bit more quality when it comes down to the chances that you're getting. They've had the Tyrants in tough spots. They've really had them at their mercy, and the Demo just have not been able to convert those chances into meaningful goals on the score sheet. Their division leadership of the Mystic division on the line here, as the Comets waiting with a 32-23 record. Both of these teams now at 31-21 on the live standings. The Demo need these 2 wins to stay with a share of the Mystic division lead.
Yeah, definitely not the place they were expecting to be in tonight, but you got to fight for every win you have. Britsu plays this one over to True Soldier. It's a great pass. Climax now the last defender. Will catch it. Maybe go for the boost. No, good job prioritizing positioning over grabbing boost. And it allows Shay to now carry this one out to midfield, but Britsu smart cut in on the inside. Climax plays back at True Soldier, who's whiffed this one, allowing Climax to push forward. They'll snag the boost along the way. It's a 1v1 situation. They don't find the flick, though. And Britsu's going to get the nice save to keep Tyrants alive and scoreless.
Again, Shay with that position didn't really give themselves a lot of options to keep the Tyrants in their end there and try to work a couple more opportunities. Climax with a big 50. Shay, again, a little too close to that. Can't react and challenge True Soldier for the ball. Still in the Tyrants' end here, and this is where the Demo need to make this count. They need something from this chance. It just falls tantalizing on the goal line, and ultimately still in the Tyrants' end, but not a lot of quality left, as a neutral Demo will fray it up for the Tyrants.
Here's another thing we're noticing from the Demolition. It seems like Shay is trying to open up. They know they can't hit their mark, so maybe if they can get a demo and let Climax do all the work, that solid mechanical player, it could work out for them, but we've still got plenty of time to see whether or not it does. But Shay, not so lucky off the corner read. Climax plays it away. Britsu awaits back, but they've got a dangerous player in front of them. It's looking to get spicy, but Shay has to retreat now off the 50. Demo from Britsu. Tyrants, they've got a chance here. Here comes the pass. It's on the inside. It wasn't followed up. And Britsu's got to regroup. They don't have anything to work with. Shay takes advantage. The pass to Climax. Up quick for this one. It's a drop down. Britsu saves it miraculously just in the nick of time. Shot again. Missed from Shay off that cursed right post. Climax, they've got one more to work with, but True Soldier gets the clear.
Another good attempt by Shay as the Tyrants net has been peppered by that ball, but the woodwork showing a huge bump by Britsu. Another big save though by Shay coming across, recognized the danger in time. Still scoreless here as we get down to the halfway point in game 4.
Wow. Just wow, it's getting real dicey out here. This pass from Shay. This time no connection from Climax. They land on the ball though. Looking for the back pass now. It's a pinch out with Britsu. They get it on the outside. It's bouncing back in. True Soldier, not the best clear. Climax, no boost, but they get up to it. No shot again. That right post has become the worst enemy of Demolition, and Britsu coming in close in second with that done.
Shay took a little too long to get to that ball. It gave Britsu the advantage to get up, block the hitbox off because of how little control Shay really had on that play. A huge dunk straight into the demo net. All the pressure on the Tyrant side until that last sequence there, and it's a 1-0 Tyrants lead.
Well, Tyrants find themselves on the board first, and that's just what they need to take the rest of this series. Climax, they get a solid clear. True Soldier meets it on the right side. Shay's got a reverse here. Try to pick this ball back up where they left it. True Soldier, unlucky 50, and it's going into the Tyrants net. And Britsu couldn't make it back quick enough just like that. It's evened up.
Great play by Shay here. Just pulls True Soldier into a tough spot. Britsu's way up on the play. Not enough respect for the Demolition on the clear on that one. They get the 50 they need. It's kind of one goal apiece in terms of awkward 50 straight into the net. The Demo don't care. They tie it up.
A minute 45 to go now. Climax. Here come the mechanics. The flick over the top. It's high off the crossbar. But Shay with the follow. Oh, it's heartbreaking. And it's getting hard to watch this point. They seem like such easy shots. We know Shay's a good player, but somehow, for some reason, they're not finding their mark, and I just don't know what to say. It's got to be just a bad day for Shay.
Sometimes bad Rocket League days happen. It's worse when they're on stream, and it's doubly bad when your team's division lead is on the line.
Yeah, they wanted to play Shay as a strong choice here, but Climax, there's the solo plays finally working out for him. Britsu doesn't get the clear they want here, and it's just a miss. Climax will get their hands on it and pop one in top shelf again.
And the Tyrants, I think that decision to deny the boost from Climax was the wrong decision. It put Britsu on the backside of that ball, gave Climax the good angle to flick that one over, falls down, open net, no boost. Can the Tyrants get back? No, they can't. Climax makes it 3-1.
Well, like I said, as it was unfolding, double commit, bump, miscommunication, whatever the heck you want to call it, it's going to result in a Demolition goal on the open net from Tyrants. 1 minute to go. Tyrants, they've got 2 goals to make up. We'll see how they deal with it.
It's a big goal for the Demo. They haven't really been able to fully control the Tyrants for an entire game. They've had stretches where they've really put pressure on, and they haven't been able to score on a number of those. We talked about them in games 2 and 3. Those opportunities the Demo had to put games away or give themselves an opening to get back in this. Shay looking for the lead pass on the clear. Dangerous prospect. If it doesn't work out, they get it far enough out, taking more precious seconds off the clock from the Tyrants.
Well, here comes Climax with a 50. True Soldier sends it back out. Time ticking away quickly for the Tyrants. Climax up to this one, sends it over the roof for one, and it goes in off the 50-50 from Climax. And just like that, Demolition are looking to have themselves a Game 5 decider. And that's what we saw in the last series, and we love to see it approach here in this one.
A slow rotation back by True Soldier, compounded by Britsu's decision in the corner. I think missing the boost also had something to play into it, but the rotation path for Britsu left a lot to be desired, especially without playing the ball in that case. Just put the Tyrants in much more danger than they really needed to be.
Well, Shay wants to secure this game even more. They find themselves a solo play, and that kind of brings this question to you, Jay. I'll see if you can answer it, but what if Shay, we know that they can score, and they've done so with a solo play, but that's usually what Climax does. So does Climax have to sacrifice the way they play and let Shay kind of come out in that way and shine?
I think what you're missing on that play is Climax actually bumps True Soldier to open up the ball at midfield to let Shay have the space to make that play happen. It's a garbage time goal. It doesn't really mean a lot. There's not a lot to read into, I think, in terms of the grand context of things. It's a 5-1 goal with about 20 seconds left on the clock. I wouldn't put too much stock in the way that goal worked out in the end. What I want to see, though, is better conversion on some of these shots. Still a lot of saves coming out of the Tyrants. 11 shots against, 5 saves. Yes, they gave up 5 goals, but a lot of those came after that first initial phase where the Demo were really trying to put the Tyrants away, and they just couldn't find that way through, with the Tyrants getting the first goal.
Well, I mean, just like that, after all these events unfold, we do see that lovely Game 5 decider, and I just can't wait. I don't want to wait 30 seconds. I want to go right now, but there's still a lot to talk about. Yeah, we won't read too much into what happened in that last goal from Shay, but it doesn't want to leave my mind. I feel like Shay has a lot of potential as, you know, getting those openings from Climax instead of passing, because off the passes, Shay has missed every single one since game number 2, and it just hasn't led to much success for the Demolition. Climax definitely shining very well in the way that they normally do, but Shay shining in a different way, being that striker. But we'll definitely be able to see what goes on in game number 5 with the Demolition.
Keys for Game 5 for both teams. For the Tyrants, tighten up the rotations. True Soldier needs to not get caught out in a couple of spots. Britsu needs to be a little bit more responsible with the ball in a couple of spots. For the Demo, they just need to find a way to score. The Tyrants, if they don't succeed in that key, there's going to be shot opportunities. They need to make those count and put this game away early.
Yeah, and one of the things that also led to a bit of the detriment for Tyrants is Britsu. They kind of do a poor job at managing their boost at times, and especially in that game, let the Demolition pull away with 3 solid goals, and then obviously that time expired goal. Climax wants to be more mechanical. Shay with another whiff on defense this time. You can't have him on offense, you can't have him on defense, or True Soldier's going to teach it to you the hard way.
Yeah, you really just can't miss that goal. It's a high-risk play by Climax. There's so much resource spent on trying to get control of that ball, and even if contact's made by Climax, there's not a lot of control on the second ball that results from that challenge high on the backboard. So if you're Shay, you need to respect that line of play. You need to know that there's not a lot of really good things that can come out of that. Looking for the redirect. Climax getting dunked on the goal line by Britsu. 2 big challenges by the Demo. They don't even really get a good shot on goal from this. And now, again, they've spent a lot of resources. Shay's out of position, but so are the Tyrants. And Climax finds the line to make it 1-1.
Well, Climax finds a way to score here. The pass from Shay, True Soldier. It's an unfortunate thing. We've seen it in the last series. We've seen it in this series. The pass out to the opposing team. Climax will take advantage of it, and that's a key difference maker in any league that you're a part of.
We talked about the Tyrants needing to tighten the rotations up. They needed to be more responsible with the ball, and that irresponsibility is what leads to that one, although True Soldier lobs it from downtown. 3 goals, 40 seconds, Game 5 off to a banger.
Again? Come on, man, that hurts to watch Shay go up for that and have another whiff resulting in a Tyrants goal, but hey, Tyrants take those, especially in the situation that they're in. They want to take the lead as much as they can. We've got 4:20 on the clock. Climax awaits this one. They've got so much space to work with. Both Tyrant players will leave the ball for Climax to take care of, really. But you don't want to do that with such a highly mechanical player. You want to cut them off at all costs, and you can't resort to a double passive play style between both players. Shay racing for this one on an open net. They've got the supersonic speed around 1, but they don't find the open net. And True Soldier gives it to Climax. They're up top 4. Climax is really just freestyling and go for those solo plays, and it could raise a bit of danger in the eyes of Demolition, but no problem. So they get it back out in the Tyrants' half.
Well, True Soldier stuck in a tough spot here. Britsu was a little bit awkward on the rotation there. It was just for the lack of an angle out of Climax that the Demo were able to turn that into a chance here. True Soldier, again, needs to do a bit more with that ball. Gets the 50 through, but all that awkwardness, all that challenge, it gets through, but look how little control the Tyrants get on the ball after that point. The Demo, now that they're back, now that they're in position, they're able to get through, and if they can continue to put the Tyrants back defensively off these initial clears, they should be able to find a better way through. They just need to do it.
Yeah, well, Climax looking to get aggressive and continue on that with Shay. They've got a shot here on the inside. It goes off the post. Again, this time Climax is able to clean it up, sweep it in. That's a tie game. Demolition on.
The Demo needed this goal, and Shay did really well to leave that for Climax. There's no real easy way to turn that in. A lot of players will try to make that hero play finish themselves, but just by beating both defenders by the Tyrants, Shay recognizes there's all that open space for a teammate to drive into, and it's an important goal for the Demo here.
Oh, Climax sends it out to the left side. True Soldier back in. It's looking like some momentum is building, and I was correct. True Soldier continues the back and forth action, the fist fights, and they get one in.
Shay got caught a little bit on that ball. I think didn't really have a line that they understood how to get to the ball after the 50 on the sideboards. Ends up getting caught, ends up getting into a really awkward spot. The Tyrants just close ranks on that, convert that one, and again will put themselves back in front.
Oh, Britsu looking to push downfield. It runs into a 50 with Shay. And True Soldier comes up, but it's too high. They can't reach it. Maybe Britsu gets the read. They don't. Open net to shoot on by Climax, but True Soldier's met it there along the way. No boost steal happening there. Tyrants, good redirect from Britsu. Send it out to Climax to meet down in the corner. They'll wait and try to take a slowly, but True Soldier too quick. Pass to Britsu. Connection found. 2-goal lead for Tyrants.
Demo far too casual with this ball. I don't mind the wait by Climax, but you need to turn on that much faster. True Soldier just holds the W key down, goes straight forward at that one, and that's exactly what you want to do against a player that's trying to control that ball in your end, get in their face, take away the time to make a decision to get control of the ball, and it converts really well for the Tyrants.
Well, it's a risky commit there for Shay. This ball's up to the back wall, though. No found. Redirect by Climax on the double touch, but Shay's back up for it, sends it way up high, could waterfall down, it almost does. The redirect in from Climax is too slow. Britsu clears it out, but a shot again from Climax. They take it themselves, and this is becoming a really close game.
Enough done by Climax on the initial touch to force the Tyrants into a clear. The boost grab as well, giving that recovery ability for Climax to get back around to the initial play, follows it up, cuts that lead back down to 1. A minute 56 to go, Grant. It's been back and forth. It could still be back and forth here as Britsu off the kickoff, as True Soldier committing. That's the double for the Tyrants. Is the Demo opportunity on the horizon here? It's not. Shay grabs boost, misses the ball, and that's a big one, I think, gone for the Demo.
Well, Climax wanted to make some scraps of it. It's not going to happen. Strong clear from True Soldier. Shay is able to keep this one out. Climax cuts back in. It's a stop ball for Shay to take advantage of. Here comes the solo plays. We talked about it. Doing dividends for them, but this time Britsu will get it out off the 50-50. Climax got a shot on target. It's blocked by True Soldier. They hold on to their lead for now, but pressure is still building. Clear away from the Tyrants roster, and True Soldier moves in on it. It's backing dangerously. Easy clear, though. Runs right in front of Britsu. They've got some space to work with. True Soldier, though, played it back dangerously where the Demolition players were waiting conveniently for this pass. Minute to go. Demolition about to lose offensive pressure, but they still keep fighting. They still keep going. This one in front of net. Britsu clears it out. Climax is committed. It's so close, yet so far from the Demo.
They just can't find a way to make these chances count. And the longer they wait to find that opening, to find that goal, the more that Tyrants lead, that extra goal that they got is weighing heavily on their minds. 30 seconds to go here, Game 5. The Demolition and the Tyrants, both of their seasons really hanging in the balance on this one as they're both fighting for their division leads. Open net, Britsu off the backboard. That's how you want to defend that one. Just get it anywhere but away from the front of your net.
Well, Climax wants to send this one back in one more time for their teammate Shay. They can't find a demo on Britsu. Tyrants just wasting away at the clock here, getting as much as they can. True Soldier, it's a pass to Climax, but it's blocked by Tyrants. Ball still in the air, but it will unfortunately bounce. And Tyrants held on to the very end, the last second. They take the series, and I believe we have an upset.
It's hard to call this one an upset. Both of these teams, top teams in their respective divisions, but on the balance of arguing that Britsu coming in as a reserve might be a little bit of a rough fit off the top, I'd have to say that they passed the test with flying colors. They were a force to be reckoned with throughout the course of this set, and to the Demolition's dismay, they just couldn't find a way to really make opportunities count because they were there, Grant. They just couldn't score off them, and that's a big disappointment for them.
Yeah, it should have gone much more in the favor of Demolition, but hey, off days happen, I guess, and Shay just couldn't find their mark a lot of the time. It left Climax to their own devices a lot of the time to solo play it out and do whatever they can, and it looked like they kind of got a little careless. Now, granted, it did work out for them most of the time. They were clawing their way back. They just couldn't go as far as they wanted to, but like I was saying, Climax just kind of seemed a little lackadaisical in their approach to rotations and whatnot, just taking it up in the air, doing a little spinneroonie here and there to the back wall, but there's just no progression of the play there.
It really just came down to when the Tyrants gave opportunities to the demo to keep the pressure on, to find a goal, just wasn't enough done with it. It just didn't come down to any particular thing other than the demo not converting on their chances. And as we go forward into the rest of the season here, the demo now tied with the Comets at the top of the Mystic. Everything left to play for going into the final 3 weeks of the regular season. But Grant, that's going to do it for us tonight here. MLE 2 is going to be signing off. We're going to send you over to the mainstream. One last match to go here in week 9 of the broadcast schedule. For Grant, for everybody in the production team behind the scenes, we're going to send you off into the night. Have yourselves a great one, and we'll see you next week here live on MLE Sports.